And what have we just seen? New Zealand giving England the beating of a lifetime. Welcome to the shiny side, the review of the first game of the World Cup, England versus New Zealand. We have with us once again Umair Qazi, the man behind well-pitched Hull Glove. And Umair, I think to get things started off, I'm going to ask you to summarize the game in 33 seconds.
Yeah, it was quite unbelievable. I had predicted in the morning that New Zealand would win, but even I did not expect them to give this kind of thrashing to England. England started batting and they kept their run rate quite high. But I think there were no partnerships. New Zealand kept at it. They kept taking their wickets. They kept losing wickets at regular intervals. The good thing about England is that they bat aggressive, whether they have wickets in hand or not. But when they were 250 for 9, I thought easy chase for New Zealand, but then they still ended up on 280 odd with Rashid and Wood at the end getting some valuable runs. But the way Conway and Rachin Ravindra came out, there was no stopping them. And then there was a drinks break in the 30 odd overs, and they came out and finished in the next 3 overs. It was quite unbelievable. I think they've killed England's campaign completely.
Good. That was 47 seconds, but good summary. So I guess starting at the top, right? I think at the toss, my initial thought was, we did the England preview earlier, and the initial thought was it was unlikely to fit both Curran and Moeen into the squad. By getting Curran and not having Topley or Atkinson, they went for a slightly batting heavy 11. And I'm not sure if that was, I mean, obviously with hindsight, it doesn't look great, but I feel like they probably were better off getting a Topley or an Atkinson in and then perhaps only having one of Curran and Moeen, because that would probably have showed up the batting, the bowling a bit more. What do you think about that?
Look, the thing is, I think England's bowling for these wickets is quite weak. And Moeen Ali has to play because he's their second spinner. Besides Adil Rashid, it's just Moeen. And fine, they've got Livingston, they've got Joe Root, but Moeen is a better spinner than both of them. Yeah. And Curran is also key for these wickets. None of the England bowlers were good today, but Curran was the only one who looked like taking wickets. Even he got taken apart at the end. But in the beginning, he bowled really well. So I think Curran is key for their attack, as is Moeen Ali. So Moeen Ali and Curran will probably play both their games. All of their games. Wood, Topley, David Willey, the other pacers in the squad, I don't think will do much on Indian wickets.
Yeah,
and I mean, bowling was completely.
I feel like Atkinson probably. I think Topley with his early seam movement and his left arm angle, and Gus Atkinson, he's very quick, not as quick as Wood, but he's very tall as well. So it's a very different kind of angle which the guys have to face. Also, no one's really seen Atkinson, so I feel like that could be a point of difference. True. But I think at the 11th, on the New Zealand side, I don't think any of us were expecting Ravindra in it. We were expecting Ish Sodhi, right? So I think him being in and then how emphatic, how key he was also a bit of a surprise.
Yeah. I actually thought that Will Young will not play and Ravindra will open with Conway, given that's what they did against Pakistan in the warm-up game. And he's shown form with the bat. So I thought he was going to open and I thought he would play. They'll play Ish Sodhi as well. That's what I had initially thought. But yeah, it was a surprising call for me to leave Ish Sodhi out. But now what do they do when Williamson comes back? Because they can't drop Ravindra. He has to bat in the top order. So I think Will Young will probably make way.
Yeah. And I think in the first inning, one of the key moment for me was when Stokes went out, you realize the top 6 were all right-handers and New Zealand easily had 20 overs of the ball spinning away. So I've assumed Moeen would come in earlier and that would be a very key moment in the game. And the second he came on, they got Glenn Phillips on. And Moeen being Moeen, instead of giving a single and giving it to Joe Root to take on the off spinner, he was kind of playing a shot across the bat and he was gone immediately. So I think they were completely, I think they were completely, I think whatever move they had, it backfired. And I think that was a very key moment in the entire innings, I thought.
Yeah, it was. And I think Tom Latham's captaincy was very, very good today. His bowling changes were spot on.
Yeah.
As I said, they kept taking the English wickets. They had plans for all their batsmen, and Phillips took a wicket 1 over, and they took him off, and then they brought him back again later on. So I think it was very, very smart captaincy from Tom Latham today.
No, for sure. And I think at the point, I guess the point England looked the best were probably when Butler and Bairstow had that partnership going. I think they had 70, 80 odd in partnership. It looked like they could recover, but then I think once that was broken, it didn't really. Yeah. And the thing with England is everybody pretty much got like 10 or 20 odd, but no one actually went on for that.
All their batsmen got double figures, every
Yeah,
single one of them. I think that's the first time that's happened in an ODI or something.
it's bizarre.
You know,
And
one interesting thing I learned today: New Zealand have never lost their opening game of any World Cup.
which is right. And they play quite a few for some reason.
Yeah, well,
They
well, okay. So opening game of a World Cup, New Zealand has played, yes, but New Zealand, whenever their opening game has been,
they
they
won
have
it.
never
Yeah,
lost their
yeah,
first World Cup
yeah,
game
yeah.
in every single World Cup
I did not
edition.
know this till today, earlier today either, by the way. So yeah, I
Yeah,
think
same,
it's one
same.
of those
Yeah.
things. And I thought once these things come out, they don't no longer the jinx always breaks, but it didn't break.
It
But
did not. And another thing I want to say, I've not said it on this podcast till now. I have mentioned it on a few WhatsApp groups that we are on as well. There's a WhatsApp group where we're predicting the semifinalists. So 3 days ago, I said England will not make it to the semifinals, and I think I'm sticking to that prediction. I think their campaign has already been derailed. It's gonna take them a lot of effort in the coming matches to one, fix this net run rate, but you know they're historically not good travelers. And in India, their bowling attack is looking toothless. They will score big runs. A lot of the totals might be chased. I don't see them beating a lot of the big teams. I think they're not
you
making the
know,
semis.
in the preview of this yesterday, Imran Aslam and I were having a chat, and we discussed how this game will be a lot about who actually hits the ground running the most. But it's day one of the World Cup, so it's a lot about okay,
Yeah.
who's how in tuned are you with the conditions, with the tournament,
Yeah.
and so on. And it's something which when we used to play street cricket in Karachi, I know there's somebody I know I would play with would always say this, that when you are going to play at a new location, you should always try to bat ball first to see what the best way to score runs is. And I feel like that was kind of the mindset New Zealand had today, where
True.
I mean, I think England maybe were going for a score that was too big. Say in an effort to maybe go for 380 rather than 330, they ended up with 280 here. And that might have been the issue.
Yeah, but the way New Zealand batted, even 400 would have been chased.
Yeah, true, true. So I think if you just quickly, I mean, England you mentioned, I just want to have a quick look at New Zealand's fixture list, because that makes it super interesting now. Because we look at their fixture list. Sorry, just give me a second. It's coming up again. If you look at their fixture list, so they have now played England, and their next 3 games are Netherlands, Bangladesh, Afghanistan.
So if you remember when we were doing the Australia preview, I'd mentioned this. I'd mentioned about New Zealand having a very easy start to the campaign compared to Australia.
Yeah.
So next 3 wins.
Yeah, if they 3 wins, then it will take a lot of effort for them not to qualify, right? So provided they can be, and New Zealand's kind of side which typically doesn't really lose to the lesser teams, if I can call them that. They typically are pretty efficient in those games, even though they're playing Bangladesh and Afghanistan in Chennai, which is the most sprint-friendly track. But I still would back New Zealand to obviously take these games.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
and
so if
look at that.
Yeah, if they were sitting with 4 out of 4, they need 2 more wins in the last 5. With the game against Sri Lanka as well. Yeah, so I think New Zealand are looking in a pole position to make it right now.
Very good position. And look at where their matches are against India and Australia. Dharamshala. That's the most pace, seam, swing-friendly ground in India. India does not have a good record against New Zealand in World Cups. Bolt would be a handful.
If I can call it that, I feel like Dharamshala is the most New Zealand ground in India.
Yeah,
it's small.
I am surprised. I am surprised India has given them Dharamshala for their game.
Yeah, that's true.
You remember 2019 what happened, the semifinal?
Yes, course,
oh my God, it's gonna happen again.
Yeah. And I guess, and for England, what's next for England? So what's your take on this? I feel like, I think with this one bad game, you still back them to win, I guess, to probably get close to the semifinal, if not get in. But I guess they just need to, Butler at the post-match just basically said, it's a bad day for us. We've been on the other side of these very often, so we're just going to take it in a stride and come back stronger. So I would definitely bring in Topley, if not Atkinson, and maybe not play Curran in the next game. But again, let's see what they do. And I think Stokes not being there would be a big factor as well. They would probably want him to come back now because they want a situation where he comes back 2 games. If they lose another game, then it becomes what they need. If they lose, even if they win 1 of the next 2, they need to still win 5 out of the next 6. That will be tough after that. Yeah. So they really need to get their A game on.
Who do England play next? I think it's Bangladesh, right?
I believe it's Bangladesh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that they should be fine there. But I feel this England attack is going to struggle against India, Australia, South Africa, even Pakistan.
It depends a lot on the conditions, but yeah, you're right. It should. Yeah. But I think moving on to something closer to home that's coming up tomorrow. And it's a nice and perhaps a nice way to ease into the World Cup. I'm hoping that's how it's gonna end. So how do you feel about tomorrow's game?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and we've mentioned this so many times, and I've got my Pakistan support out for
Nice.
them tomorrow. The Hulk glove is here; it's ready. I think Pakistan will kick off their campaign with a win tomorrow. It should be a relatively easy game for us, and yeah, I don't think there'll be any surprises tomorrow.
Yeah. Also, in terms
And
of the team we're going to go with, we did the preview, of course, but I think so.
yeah,
Like we said, it's going to be Shafiq, Imam, Babar, Rizwan, Saud, and at 6 we have Iftikhar. That's pretty much set in stone. Then we have
yeah,
Shadab, Afridi, and Haris Rauf are also set in stone. There's two more spots left.
yeah.
Some combination
Yeah.
of Osama Mir, Nawaz, Hassan Ali, and Mohammad Wasim Jr. And I think you had said you would go with Hassan Ali and Nawaz, if I remember correctly.
You're right, but after the second warm up, I have some more thoughts, and I don't know. So look, Abdullah Shafiq did himself no favors by the way he batted in the two warm up games.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that Babar might want to give Fakhar another go. He had a good
Yeah.
start against Australia, but he gave it away. So probably with them wanting Fakhar to come out well against Netherlands, get back into form, because I know even they know Fakhar is a game changer at the top of the order. And if he can get going, it'll do wonders for our campaign. So
Yeah.
maybe they go with Fakhar, although Abdullah should not be dropped given he scored a 50 in his last ODI that he played. But you never know with Pakistan.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the second thing, in the preview, I said I don't see Osama playing much, but I feel somehow we should try and get Osama into
I
the
think
11.
so too.
I don't know.
think so.
I don't know how it's going to happen. You can't drop Nawaz. He had a great warm-up game. He scored runs. He took wickets. He bowled better than Shadab. I don't see how they can drop Shadab. I don't know if you will go with two pacers only. I don't know if you go batsman short and play Osama. I don't know how it will happen, but I would
mean,
really like to see Osama in the
I
11.
don't think so. I like to see Osama, but I think it has to be at Nawaz's expense. Otherwise, I don't think he can make it to the side.
So you play two leg spinners. Not.
Yeah, I mean, if I want to include him, that's the only way I think. So it's a tough one because, like you said, Nawaz batted also.
But how about the tough call of dropping Shadab Khan?
I think it's too early for that.
Is it?
I mean, whether I think it's right or not, they were not going to do it. So, vice captain on the first game. If he has a couple of bad games, then it might happen, but not right now. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think this is probably the part where I'm supposed to pretend like I know everything about the Netherlands team. I don't know much, but I do know that they have two of the oldest guys. Van der Merwe is still around. They have some guy in the squad who, if you search the best catches of all time, he pops up from the Under-19 World Cup in 2008 playing for South Africa. And he has not played for South Africa ever since. But he's now lives in the Netherlands and he's playing for them. I forget his name. I'm going to share that in the next episode, maybe. Okay. But
so
I think
I know they have two good. They've got two good all-rounders, Baz de Leede and Colin Ackerman. The good two good all-rounders. Baz de Leede's father, Tim de Leede, has also played World Cups in the past.
And they've come through a pretty tough qualification group, right? So, I mean, they're not a side you would take lightly, but again, I would obviously back Pakistan too. I would probably want us to bat first, set up a big score, and then take it from there.
Yeah. Or even chase. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the right thing to do for Pakistan is, to be honest. It looks like a chasing World Cup. Even 350 totals will be chased, and Pakistan has done that. So I think this is a better chasing team than we've had in the past. Babar and Rizwan are very good at chasing, even in ODIs. But yeah, against Netherlands, you may not have.
Yeah. Also, I think generally speaking, I feel like without
good to see Pakistan bat first, get runs under the.
Yeah, I think also one more thing before we move on. I think the Ahmedabad result today is also the same pitch where we play India in 10 days, right? So I'm not sure if there's any other games in Ahmedabad, but I'm not sure what we've learned from the track. But they probably will be watching this closely for that game. Yeah. Okay, so before we wrap up, sorry, it's gone.
Okay. No, I was going to come to Pakistan, India, but we'll talk about that in another.
Yes, that's time. So before we wrap up, I have a short quiz question for you. And we've done a couple of these, but we haven't done them while you've been on the show. So
I saw the one you did with Fadil.
Yes. There's another one coming up. So there's 5 things on your screen. You have to tell me which the number. So the next slide, I have numbers for all of them. You have to go in order from largest to smallest.
Oh man. Okay, looks tough, but okay. I might get all of these wrong.
I'm not asking for the numbers. Just tell me in order of who's the biggest, what's the smallest, and so on.
Oh, you're not giving me choices? You gave Hadil
No,
5 choices and
no,
you
no. So
asked
this
her
is a
to
different
match.
kind of quiz. This is a different kind of quiz. I'm just saying put them in order.
Put them in order from largest to smallest?
Yeah. Or you can do it the other way around too.
Okay. The largest among these, I would say population of London,
Okay.
then um, population of New Zealand, then Ben Stokes Insta followers, then All Blacks. I think you got them largest to smallest in order on the screen.
Okay. So let's go with that. And the answers are, you're right. They were in order.
You had
They
them in
were in
order,
order.
right?
But I figured
That's
whoever
what
would
it
see
is.
them would never assume they were in order. But yeah, you're right. So I think well done on that. Well done on that. I was actually contemplating putting Manchester because you've actually lived there as well. But then I thought that might become too close. But good
I think
stuff.
Manchester is between New Zealand and London population.
Probably. So it would have been a closer. But good stuff, Umair. Thank you for being on the show. And
Thank you for having me again.
and we'll have you back again soon. And for those of you who watched the video, please
Yes,
like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back tomorrow evening right after the game.
and for Pakistan win tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. Ciao.